Okay, we'll start chapter number 5, alternative ideas and initiatives. Alternative ideas and initiatives. This chapter is very important for us, especially for this year, for the academic session of 2021. Alternative ideas and initiatives in Bengali, this is called Bikolpo Chinta and Uddog. Why this is termed so? Why this is called so? Bikolpo Chinta and Uddog, alternative ideas and initiatives. Now this time, in this chapter, we will just come to know that during this period, since 1778 till the late 19th century, we'll just come to know that the everything that will be just diverted not by the British entrepreneur or their enterprises. This time the Indians will also take some initiatives and endeavors to just set up the printing press, the printing machines, to develop and to just encourage the common people in the national feelings, in the national awakening, everywhere, in every sphere of life. They will just do something better, something different from the British government. Now the British government, as because they held the post that they called themselves as because they were the superior race rather than that of the Indians. So the Indians, they must be very much sure about it, that what they are just providing for themselves. Suppose I'm just very much dependent upon anyone, so he must take the opportunity to just muzzle me, to just exploit me. So that's why I must be self-dependent. So Indians, few Indian legends will be there, those who will just take the responsibility, and obviously with their entrepreneur, with their initiatives, few peoples will be there, and they will do something better, they will do something different from the British. And by setting up different printing press, they will just disseminate the knowledge amongst the Indians. They will just at least make fill all the Indians that we are not absolutely dependent on the British administration and their activities. We can do something different from them. So that's why the name of the chapter has been given Alternative Ideas and Initiatives. We know, children, that the British, every time they sought to think that they were superior, and they were having a superior race thinking inside their mind. They even did not hesitate to just call in different vulnerable language, unparliamentary words they had just given out to us. But now from this passage, from this chapter, we'll just come to know that we the Indians were not a foolish yet, as because we could do something different from them. Though the technology, I'm talking about the printing technology, as because in this chapter, the whole chapter has been just given on the entitled, that is Development of Printing Press in Bengal. We'll just come to know the different types of printing technologies by my next video. We'll just come to know different types of colleges and the universities that were just set up only. The initiatives that were just taken by the Indian peoples from the Indian sides only. Okay, let's just get started. So development of printing press in Bengal, we must know that the printing technology, from where it has just come. The father of the printing press, it's called Sir Johannes Gutenberg, and he was a German scientist who for the first time invented the printing machine. And since that time, the printing machine and the printing technology got just developed, it got just modified, and at present time you can see that the printing technology, how much in what extent it can just go. The instances are there, as because I think at our everyone's house a printing machine is there, and within a very short span of time we can just print anything. And what's the importance of the print media at present time, you can just come to know from the different papers, newspaper, journals, magazines, everywhere. Okay, so most of us, we think that the first printing press, it was set up in Kolkata in the year of 1778 by James Augustus Hickey. No, children, this statement is correct, but one mistake is there, as because this was not for the first time the printing press was installed in India, in Calcutta only. It was in the year of 1557 when the Portuguese Jesuits, who for the first time set up the printing press in Goa. As because you all know that the Goa was the most important colony of the Portuguese, so that's why the Portuguese, they become quite enthusiastic to just set up or to establish a printing press over there. We surely cannot just come to know that for what purposes did they set up this printing press, but we are pretty sure about that it was not for the commercial venture, as because printing At the time, it was quite expensive. It was quite costly, so it could not be touched by the common people, the middle class people, even the downtrodden class of the society. So that's why the printing technology was not much more popular over there, but still we should be very much thankful to the Portuguese Jesuits, as because in the year of 1557 they had just installed a printing press over there in Goa. Portuguese Jesuits. Okay, now literally it was James Augustus Hickey, a British officer or journalist, obviously Indian journalist, because he was working for this country only. Okay, so that's why when he came to India, he just gave a memorandum to the British government, and he just clearly stated that his ambition, he became quite ambitious and enthusiastic to set up a printing press, and from that basis the affiliation or the recognition was given to him in the year of 1778. He became successful to just set up or to establish a printing press over there in Calcutta. Now it's Kolkata. Okay, so since that time, 1780, the first English weekly was published by James Augustus Hickey, named Hickey's Bengal Gazette or Bengal Gazette. It was an English weekly. I'm just going to repeat once again, children. The first English weekly was published in the year of 1780 by James Augustus Hickey. It was a weekly newspaper, and it was published it was just written in English language. Now I will just explain the fact that is written from page number 71 in Kalyani Chaudhary's book. That can just make you so much confused, as because in page number 71, the first two paragraphs, if you just read the second paragraph from page number 71, that starts with, there is a disagreement amongst scholars as to the first Bengali newspaper. The first Bengali news weekly, it is said to have, according to Kalyani Chaudhary, it's written that Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya or Gangadhar Bhattacharya. Okay, Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya and Gangadhar Bhattacharya both are same. Okay, so it's written in Kalyani Chaudhary's book that Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya or Gangadhar Bhattacharya's Bangla Gazette or Bengal Gazette was the first Bengali weekly. I repeat, in the year of 1818, Gangadhar Bhattacharya or Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya had published a printing. He had just published a newspaper or a journal that came to be known as the Bengal Gazette or the Bangla Gazette of 1818. Perhaps that was the first weekly vernacular, or the first Bengali weekly newspaper or the journal. According to Kalyani Chaudhary, it's written. But if you just ask it to Google that which one is the first Bengali or the vernacular weekly, the Google will show us that it will be Samachar Darpan. Exactly, children, this will show. If you just search it in internet, the same result will come what I have just earlier told to you. But the fact is that which one will be the correct answer? Samachar Darpan was the first vernacular. Samachar Darpan was the first Bengali weekly. This will be the correct answer, as because apart from Kalyani Chaudhary's book, if you just search it in internet, by going to internet, if you just ask it to Wikipedia in different spheres of knowledge from where you can just gain, you will see that it will be Samachar Darpan of J.C. Marshman, John Clark Marshman, the son of Joshua Marshman. He had published this newspaper. So the confusion, I think it has been just gone from your mind, that Samachar Darpan, this will be the first Bengali weekly newspaper that was published by J.C. Marshman in the year of 1818. Coincidentally, in the same year, 1818, Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya or Gangadhar Bhattacharya's Bengal Gazette or Bangla Gazette was also released. It was just published. Now we'll tell about the first first vernacular daily newspaper. Obviously, it was Sambad Pravakar. The editor of the newspaper was Ishwar Chandra Gupta. This is very important, children. You just listen me several times, 100 times, 1000 times, but don't just forget, as because this can make so much confusion. I'm just telling repeatedly for that reason. So keep watching and keep learning and keep just listening to me very carefully. I told that the first English weekly was James Augustus Hickey's Bengal Gazette or Bengal Gazette, that was published in the year of 1780. Now I have just turned to the Bengali newspaper. The Bengali newspaper, first it was just edited by the first Bengali weekly newspaper, Prothom Saptahik Bangla newspaper, Bangla Sangbatpotro. It was edited by J.C. Marshman in the year of 1818. Though perhaps Kalyani Chaudhary in his book, he has told that it was not J.C. Marshman. It will be instead Ganga Kishore or Gangadhar Bhattacharya. In the same year 1818, Bangla Gazette or Bengal Gazette was published by him, and this will be the first Bengali weekly newspaper, but that will be absolutely false. It will be Samachar Darpan. Third, what did I say? I told that Sambad Pravakar, that was published in the year of 1831. In your book, Kalyani Chaudhary, again, a mistake. It's written 1839. If you see the third paragraph of your book, page number 71. It's written in the second line that the Sambat Pravakar, edited by Ishwar Chandra Gupta, came out on 14th of June 1839 as a daily newspaper in Bengali. Okay, so it's written it came out as a daily newspaper, but it's absolutely false, as because it was published in the year of 1839. Ishwar Chandra Gupta was the editor of this newspaper, and this was the first daily newspaper, and that was obviously written in Bengali language. Now I will just tell you that which one was the first monthly vernacular. The first monthly vernacular, or the first monthly Bengali newspaper, it was Digdarshan, and it was edited in the year of 1818, edited by J.C. Marshman, I mean John Clerk Marshman, the son of Joshua Marshman. Now I'm just giving you the learning capsules to just memorize it in a different way. The first English weekly that was published in the year of 1780 by James Augustus Hickey, by the name Hickey's Bengal Gazette, either, or you may write Bengal Gazette only. Number 2, the first Bengali weekly newspaper, it was published by J.C. Marshman in the year of 1818 with the name of Samachar Darpan. In the same year, 1818, Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya or Gangadhar Bhattacharya, he had also edited a Bengali newspaper that named after Bangala Gazette or Bengal Gazette of Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya. Number 3, the first vernacular daily run newspaper was Sambat Pravakar. It was edited in the year of 1831 under the editorship of Ishwar Chandra Gupta. Number 4, but it is last but not the least, that was the first Bengali monthly newspaper, the first Bengali monthly run newspaper. It was Digdarshan, that was edited in the year of since 1818 by J.C. Marshman or John Clerk Marshman. He was the son of Joshua Marshman. I think all the confusions have been just gone from your mind. So children, exactly, I was talking about alternative ideas and initiatives. Now can you see that what is the transformation? The printing press, the printing technology that was started, that was the journey of the printing press, or the printing press development. It was started by the initiatives or the endeavors taken by the British government. Now it has turned in a different way, different mood. I have told about Ganga Kishore Bhattacharya or Gangadhar Bhattacharya, Ishwar Chandra Gupta. Not only all these peoples, apart from these, so many Indian peoples or the journalists, they will take the responsibilities to just keep updated the common peoples with their new ideas. It was Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar, also Raja Ram Mohan Roy. It will be sometimes Qazi Nazrul Islam and his edited newspaper Langal, and so many. I mean, how many names I will just represent in front of you that they had just published. As because what happened, children, the British, they couldn't just think that the newspapers could just play an active role for promoting this kind of national awakening amongst the Indians. So for the first time, they were not worried about that. And what has happened later on, children, you will be just surprised, you will just get mystified to know it, that when the British came to know that the newspapers played an active role in promoting the national awakening amongst the Indians, so that time they become very much discontented, they become very much disappointed. And for that reason, in the year of 1782, James Augustus Hickey was show-caused, as because he had just revealed the facts, he had just exposed all the important events in front of the common people, as because he was an impartial journalist of India. So that's why his responsibility, he sought to think that being a journalist of India, his responsibility is to just reveal all the true facts in front of the common people. So that's why he was show-caused, and he was just summoned, he was called to the Westminster House, to the British Parliament. And whenever he just went over there, as because the English East India Company's officials, they had just lodged a complaint against James Augustus Hickey. Whenever he went over there, no satisfactory answer was given, and finally in the year of 1782, his printing press was disbanded. His printing machines were just confiscated. It was seized by the British government. What kind of injustice it was, children? Now think that how exploitative nature it was having with the British in their mind. Okay. So in the year of 1828, in the year of 27 it will be, Adams Press Regulation was passed. Press Regulation. What was Adams Press Regulation that was passed in the year of 1827? Okay, let me tell you that Adams Press Regulation of 1827, this was a suppressing or oppressive act that was passed by the British government. Actually, they wanted to just suppress the voice of the common people so that they could not be very much vocal, so that they could not just raise their voice against the British injustice and their activities. So that's why Adams Press Regulation was just issued. It was just proclaimed to suppress, for muzzling up, to just kill the voice of the common people. So that's why Adams Press Regulation in the year of 1827 is very important to us, as because the British government, they were very much frightened during that time. They sort of think that if this happens on the regular basis, we don't know that how long we'll just stay inside India. So that's why they had just created this kind of repressive, they had just passed this kind of suppressive acts for the Indians. But thanks to God, as you all know, that in the year of 1835, it was Charles Metcalfe. He took the bold step, and finally, when he took the bold step, he clearly stated that no suppression will be there, no oppression will be there. The Indians, even the Indians, they can just write in the newspaper, but that will be on the basis of the true facts. No means false or the means bluff things can be just written over there. But still, the Indians, they just got the opportunity. Taking this advantage of the opportunity, the Indians, they had started monopolizing their trading system, their business, even the commercial venture also. The printing press reached a very summit position, at the peak position at the time. Okay, children. Next thing is that when the printing press, it was just going so smoothly in India, Lord Lytton, he was the Governor General, the Viceroy General of India in the year of 1878, and he had passed again a repressive act to just for muzzling the press opportunity or the press relief. So that's why it was clearly stated that if any Indian newspaper or the vernacular, he had just passed an act that came to be known as the, most of you know it better, that Vernacular Press Act, that was passed by Lord Lytton in the year of 1878. By just issuing this kind of act, Lord Lytton clearly stated that if any vernacular newspaper or any vernacular news authority publishes anything, writes anything that goes against the British sentiment, their publishing authority will be just withdrawn. Even they can be jailed, they can be just fined also. So this kind of suppressive act was again passed, and finally we are always thankful to Lord Ripon, as because he had just withdrawn this kind of illegal acts from India, and he had just given the opportunity to all the Indian presses that they could just expose their own views. They could just write anything. They could just write anything. It doesn't mean that they could just spread out the rumors, the myths and all these things. No, the rumors could not be just spread out all over the country. The true facts, on the basis of the true incidents and the witness, they could just reveal all the important facts. Okay. So one by one, all the important events of Indian freedom struggle movement, such as the 1857 revolt and the rebellion, the Great Rebellion of 1857, we have just come to know from there. Even Santal Rebellion of 1855, the Indigo Rebellion of 1859, the Munda Rebellion of 1899, all the important revolts and the uprisings had been just clearly stated, and it was just written inside these newspapers, and the common peoples, they had just come to know from different aspects, but with the causes for their mere discontentment, even they had just come closer with one another. Suppose I have been just living in West Bengal since 1989. We have just and different activities and different socio-political activities we must share with all the common peoples of India also. If we really want to just disseminate the knowledge with other states of India, print media can play a very vital role, as because the print media from Anandobajar Potrika, from Bortoman, Protidin, Ganashakti, different newspapers are being just published on regular basis. If suppose a person, he has been just sitting over in Assam, he also just can come to know by just reading the newspapers. We also just come to know about the day-to-day activities. We can just keep us up to date or updated by reading different type of newspapers, such as the Testman and the News Time, Times of India, and different newspapers are being just published from there. So from there we can just gain the knowledge. We can just enhance ourselves, we can just groom ourselves, isn't it? So that's why Samachar Shudha Borshan, many Indian newspapers, it was Samachar Shudha Borshan were charged before the Supreme Court with publishing CDTS articles. So they had just published the CDTS articles, Samachar Shudha Borshan, CDTS article that was against the British government and their sentiment, and they had, and this was absolutely violated. So means the guidelines that was just given by the British government at the time, that was violated. So that's why the British, they got very much discontented, and a legal action was taken against Samachar Shudha Bharshan. But this should not be taken, as because the freedom should be given to the hands of the newspaper. Otherwise, they cannot be called the impartial newspaper. A newspaper, most importantly, news channels also, they must be impartial. If they become partial, if they just talk about some persons, about a political origin, about only a political perspective, it cannot be done, right? It cannot be the right thing. What should we feel? Okay, so in this way, under the viceroyalty and of them concerned imposing restrictions on the vernacular press, the ill-framed Vernacular Press Act of 1878 deprived newspaper published in vernacular language of the right. We have already told that was the most important drawbacks of the Vernacular Press Act that was passed in the year of 1878 by Lord Lytton. We have already come to know, but we should thankful to Lord Lytton, as because he had just repealed the act. Okay, by next video, we'll just come to know about the relation between the printed text and the dissemination of knowledge. How could the printed text or the printed books or the journals or the magazines or the newspapers play a vital role in disseminating the knowledge amongst the Indians? Means the Indians, they got just modified themselves. They could just gain different knowledges and gain the importances from the society. So this newspaper could just be a part of the Indian freedom struggle movement. And finally, how did it spread, and in which way the newspaper just came as a commercial venture? And what is the role of the Upendra Kishore Roy Chaudhary, Ray and Sons? What is the role of Upendra Kishore Roy Chaudhary and Shukumar Ray? Will just come to know by our next video. Initiatives, what were the different initiatives that were taken by these two prominent persons. We'll just also come to know press as a commercial venture. Obviously, we'll just come to know different type of printing, such as the woodblock printing. We'll just come to know different metal types of printing, linotype printing. We'll just come to know monotype printing and different types of printings, and in which way the commercial venture, the commercial activity on the basis of this printing press that was developed inside the country. We'll just come to know from our next video. Okay, children, so for today, up to this. By our next video, just keep watching the video, stay safe, stay home, and just keep learning. By our next video, we'll just come to know relation between the printed text and the dissemination of knowledge. Perhaps I will just take 2 more classes, and I think I'll be able to just finish the chapters, because the chapter 5 is not too much long. So stay safe, stay home. Thank you.